It's time to check your balance if you're one of the millions of Americans who depend on Social Security disability benefits or compensation. You might get a sizable $4,000 direct payment as soon as tomorrow. Yes, you are aware that Congress has just enacted a historic bill following protracted negotiations on Capitol Hill. A clause to accelerate these $4,000 payments to more than 64 million eligible cares is concealed amid the specifics of this $1.90 trillion emergency aid bill. Social Security pensioners across the country will get roughly 3 times their monthly benefits. In their accounts, disabled people receiving SSI and SSDI will see thousands more. Veterans may discover an unexpected deposit similar to a portion of their quarterly disability benefits. This life is happening right now. If money were to change, grandparents might no longer have to divide medicines in half to be warm throughout the cold, or benefit from better grocery store nutrition. This unexpected infusion of funds will provide many on fixed incomes with a great deal of respite and breathing room. Keep watching because I'll break down all the most recent information in this video, including who is eligible for the money, when it will arrive, and what it can mean for your finances. The $44,000 windfall will arrive, so let's prepare to accept it. Press the like button, and let's get started. The news will have an impact on millions of Americans. Social Security recipients in the United States, pay attention. This one's crucial. Over the last few months, we've been attentively observing the developments in Congress. After weeks of political wrangling and debate, lawmakers engaged in intense negotiations over a historic piece of legislation aimed at providing additional financial assistance to some of the most vulnerable individuals and populations in our nation. I am happy to announce the approval of the bill. You're correct. It's a big matter. Let me explain the government's approval of a $190 emergency help package in detail. It contains provisions for transferring $4,000 in direct payments to Social Security SSDI or via recipients around the nation. Impact your financial situation. This $4,000 payment is classified as Emergency Supplemental Income, ESI. It is intended to provide a financial boost to individuals receiving retirement and disability benefits from Social Security, SSI and SSDI, including veterans with disabilities who are receiving compensation. Early projections indicate that the initiative may be beneficial. More than 64 million Americans fit into these categories. The figure includes 64 million individuals, and the parliamentarians who wrote this bill, counting themselves among them, are cognizant of the catastrophic economic impact that the pandemic had, especially for individuals receiving disability payments or fixed incomes. The mechanics of the allocation of this funds is now of utmost importance. The language of the bill requires that the $4,000 installments be made using the same payment methods as the regular monthly Social Security SSDI benefits. This means that a direct deposit into your bank account or by any other method you choose to receive payments will be used. Cash. It's crucial to keep in mind that numerous reports point to an extremely strict deadline for delivering these emergency checks. According to what I've observed, the first wave of payments could be deposited as early as tomorrow. This isn't an error or an inebriated text sent tomorrow. On Saturday, the anticipated date of deposit for the first batch is May 25th. Given that over 64 million payments remain to be processed, the procedure will likely continue on a rolling basis. The initial timeline's quickness is remarkable and unparalleled, as it discloses which IES, the $44,000 check, is available to the recipients. The application process is simple. If you get Social Security retirement benefits, SSD, SSI, or compensation, you will be eligible for the full $4,000 period. You don't need to worry about your age, income, or whether you are reliant or not. This payment was provided by Congress to cover all benefit groups. The only exogenous variables are low-income Social Security recipients who requested economic impact payments under the last COVID relief legislation. I think those who were awarded the entire $1,400 payment earlier this year could be qualified for a $4,000 partial payment. According to the guidance, veterans with VA ratings of 10% who are receiving disability payments or pensions would be entitled for $44,000 of the supplemental payment. However, the IRS and Social Security Administration have not yet finalized the computation of the new additional amount, or less are qualified for the entire $44,000 payout. This is fantastic news for the heroes of our country. Let's talk about logistics, since I know many of you have worries about how garnishments and offsets can affect these $4,000 payments. According to what I hear, Congress has put in place safeguards. This clause shields emergency payments from federal garnishment and from private debt collection, ensuring beneficiaries receive the funds directly and are not burdened by outstanding student loan debts or garnishment orders. It does seem possible that a part of the $4,000 might be reclaimed in the event of the Social Security Administration must follow their standard operating procedures to determine whether this payment is taxable. The current guidance recommends treating it as an exempt disbursement for federal taxes, but some states may still be able to collect it. Outstanding tax debt or a debt owed to another federal agency. These are the key points of this $4,000 payment: who, what, and when. So let's proceed based on the information at hand and assess any potential effects before deciding to tax it at the state level. I would want to extend my congratulations to the SSDI recipients and veterans who receive Social Security for their. The $4,000 one-time payout is the largest ever awarded to Social Security claimants in celebration of their long overdue acknowledgement. It is far larger than earlier stimulus plans for seniors who found it difficult to make ends meet on their $1,500 monthly Social Security benefit. This additional $4,000 almost triples their usual benefit. It is a major advantage that millions of Americans who are financially weak have suddenly had billions and billions of dollars injected into their pockets. Grandparents must decide between medicine and food. People with disabilities grapple with growing housing expenses and unaffordable bills for wounded warriors. This $400 may actually change and save lives on a larger scale. Compared to the wealthy, who are more prone to invest and preserve their windfalls, our seniors, the disabled, and veterans tend to be the most dependable and constant spenders in our consumer economy. The $4,000 that these benefit groups receive directly from the government offers a considerable return on investment in terms of economic stimulus, and we can anticipate this extraordinary increase in spending, which they use for rent, groceries, utilities, medical expenditures, and other necessities. Consumer power to support mom-and-pop shops, supermarkets, and Andes will benefit from the $190 trillion bill, which critics claim is fiscally irresponsible and burdensome for future generations. It will also generate new jobs in the fulfillment and customer service departments to handle the spending tsunami, possibly susceptible to deception and misuse. While there are legitimate philosophical debates to be had in the context of broader economic and political discourse, the great majority of disabled and veteran Social Security users are industrious Americans who have contributed to the system throughout their lifetimes. They are currently simply trying to survive. It is common for a program this size to encounter some implementation snags, uncertainty, or hiccups. I advise you to exercise patience and to constantly check online resources like SSA.gov or your benefit portals to see the most recent information you can. You can also follow my YouTube channel to get updates as soon as they become available. I'll keep you informed of any changes and problems you may face, but you should also take the initiative to ask for assistance rather than waiting on hold for a long time. Standing in line at the VA Social Security Administration, or instead, gently encourage your local congressman to address the matter. While I appreciate that working with bureaucracies can be irritating, the lifesavers are underfunded and simply want to carry out their duties. A little compassion and understanding can go a long way. Let's wrap up the video and see you in the next one. Would you kindly subscribe to the channel if you liked the video?